So I was sitting and I was just looking at him and watching him. He was fiddling on the PC, doing some production. And I just spoke about his journey. And in the song, I speak about where he started and where he went to, which was he reached the highest of heights, which we are so, so proud of. Yeah, if you know the lyrics, please sing along. I would love the help. Shampuru. I can't even say much else. I can only speak through music, guys. So yeah. Hi. Okay, let's do this a cappella. If you know the lyrics, please, now I really need your help. Okay. I hope that someday you'll find. Oh, there we go. I hope that someday you'll find your way. I know it's been hard, despite what they say, to choose the life you want is an act of faith. When you're feeling down, just close your eyes and pray. And I always knew you would reach the sky. And I always knew you'll be flying high. And I always knew you would reach the sky. And I always knew you'll be flying high.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. You have just earned a freaking fan, bro. Like, I was a supporter, bro. I was an observer, bro.
I love you. To the Tsubano Glue family, our hearts are with you.
I'm not sure if Buskasi wanted me to sing there. She looked at me for a second.
I hope that
Can't
someday you
it's
find
time for
your
the Majitas.
way.
Ever heard of them?
I know it's been hard.
And, you know, Costa, if you had to record him, which we often were because something exciting was about to happen, it looks like a music video 24/7. And I'll tell you why. Majitas. Always. Last, 2 weeks ago, we were doing an event. My sister is the artist liaison for the business, so she will normally be dealing with Khotso. And obviously, my sister comes to me in a panic. Well, she handled it quite well, but she says, we've got a problem. I say, what? What's wrong? Says, no, Costa and team are here, but they need 20 tags. I say, 20 tags? That's more than our whole backstage at the moment. Majitas, come forward, always rolling entourage.
But Costa would just come and beat me. And he's like, I'm the defender. You know, so that's another name I guess he created. Yeah, that's Costa. He was a blessed soul. From his aura, his energy, his ideas, his personality. You know, the list is long, I could go on all day. One person that really motivated me in so many ways, like, I could be sitting at home, like, just watching a series or, like, playing games or something, but in the back of my head, like, something will hit me like, nah, bro, Costa's probably working right now. You need to do something. So I'd probably, like work on something, because I know Costa's working. You know, and that's the type of motivation he had, you know, and I really digged it a lot. I'd like to give a few words of inspiration. I got it from social media somewhere, and I thought it made sense. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says impossible. You know, how I feel about that is that when I linked up with Costa Titch, I felt like nothing is impossible. Like, I felt like, bro, we could take over the whole world. You know, I would get excited when he'd tell me like his new ideas, or even how we would just chill and discuss how we're gonna take over this music thing. Yo, bro, excuse my language, we need to fuck up the game. You know, I really, it's just a lot, guys. On the behalf of me, well, not me, Majitas, and me, Costa was not just a friend, he was a brother. You know, a brother in sharing memories, a brother in arms when we had to tackle all these challenges, a brother in music when we made all these hits. Costa was not like a guy of many words. You know, he would always like express himself like through music and stuff. So I'm sure most of you guys, when you hear his lyrics and stuff, they're very, you know, genuine to his path and journey and where he is, you know. He was a man of peace, never liked arguing, never liked arguing. Or even being next to an argument, like you just see him exit. Like, you know, this one time, I think I was having an argument with Jerome. No, I was having an argument with Nelson. And the next day, Benny and Jerome, we were at the gym. They had an argument, you know, and Costa got so pissed. He was like, when we get home, we're having a meeting. We got home, he sat us all down, and he's like, guys, I'm tired of you guys arguing. I'm really tired, I want some peace. And for the first time, I saw my boy like stand up for what he wanted, you know? And, oh man. It's been a difficult time for the family, Titch gang, Majita. But on the bright side, I just want to say, look at what he's done. He's brought all of us together. And all in his name, man. All in his name. We're all here, you know, for Costa Titch. And I would love for us to celebrate his name and just put it in light, because he loved being positive, you know. I just want you guys to go home knowing that he's in a better place, He's in a peaceful space. He's in the heavens, and he was welcomed with open arms. God's new angel. From me, my gang, my Jitas, Titch gang forever. I'm just gonna leave it for Alpha to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alpha Cat, Alpha Cat, Alpha Cat. I won't lie to everyone who's here. I only did that because Costa Titch said his name so many times in every song. My boy was so confident and instilled so much confidence in all of us that even when he was mostly underrated, mostly unfavored, no one saw him coming and everyone never thought he would actually be what he is. But even through all of that, he always said, we move. When Costa says we move, we move. So nothing was supposed to faze him. But I've been seeing a lot of conversations around the question about being tired. Costa was tired. And it just brings out an emotion in me that I want to correct. Costa was hardworking, passionate, driven, focused, giving, inspirational. But that tired you're talking about, he was tired actually of all the hate. He was tired of the discrimination because of his ethnicity. Costa was tired of having to always work 10 times more than everybody and being treated like he just did 1% of all he did. We need to really acknowledge what this boy did. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a Mapiano in Estonia. Or Germany, or the Netherlands, or all the other countries they went to. People need to understand that there's a bigger picture here. This discrimination, this industrial discrimination, racism, hate. He always made sure, he always made sure we knew. Majita, let's keep it positive. When Costa says keep it positive, you keep it positive. Because if you're coming with negative energy, you're not gonna come to Majita Monday. You want to be at Majita Monday, because Costa got the bill at Majita Monday. Best restaurant ever, as long as you keep it positive, as long as you have a dream. He changed all of our lives. As you see all of these guys here, he brought us together. If it wasn't for Tumi Kladi giving me a business card that had a song of him and Costa together saying punchline, we wouldn't have met Dubs. Now they're both in heaven, and they're all bumping the song. I know what they're saying. They're like, yo, play our shit. Play our music. So when we leave here tonight, the one thing I think all Majita would want you guys to remember is that Titch Gang needs to live forever. For Titch Gang to live forever, there's a few things we as Titch Gang need to do. If you here, don't get it wrong, you are part of Titch Gang. Unless you're a spy, but we'll find you. Everyone here is Titch Gang. Don't get it mistaken. And if you're a Titch Gang, it means we're gonna have to change the way we love each other. We're gonna love each other, embrace each other. We gotta help each other. Costa was able to take care of a big team. Most people in the industry have 2. Costa had, what's the number, manager? 7 plus Majida. Come on. He always pulled everyone, family, friends. He always said it. He always made sure and emphasized it, that we have to take care of each other. And I'd like for us to take care of Titch Gang. Let's take care of each other. And let's make sure that we take care of the dancers and all other musicians who are coming up. That's all I'm asking. Let's make sure that Titch Gang is forever. Titch Gang is forever. Thank you so much. Majita, Majita, Majita! Majita! That's our slogan, I think.
If there is anyone that truly knows the Costa Titch, yay. It's tricky up here, I won't lie. If there is anybody that knows this story from day one, I'd like to call up on a lifelong friend, Benny Chill, and any other collaborators to tell us this wonderful story.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, fans. I am the collaborator, Genesis. And this is Benny. Right. I think a lot of people said a lot of the stuff which spoke very highly of Costa's character. Beyond personality, beyond other stuff, character. But I will not veer off too far from what is written here. Benny, last night we were sitting together trying to figure this out. I was like, dude, it's too long, bro, it's too long. Get comfy. We're going to tell you, we're going to go on a bit of a journey. And it's very difficult to try and summarize 18 years, 13 years into 4 pages. You know, there's so many memories. There's so many things we would like to share, but we will do our best to say what is necessary and what honors Costa and honors everyone. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be speaking here. One never makes space in their hearts for such to be happening, not this early. I never thought I'd be standing here, not for this reason, not for Costa, not now. Popular opinion says we live on borrowed time. Unpopular opinion, my opinion, says we live on given time. Regardless of what or who, where your belief lies, the divine, God, has given us time to live in this realm, the physical realm. And I say given because we don't owe anything back. Our living is worship enough to the creator of our lives. If it were a loaning of time, you would be in a lot of debt by the end of it because he would constantly be adding and guiding you, depending on how you choose your life. If you walk with God, the results thereof are shown in the metaphysical, and I'm not talking about the material things per se. And if we look at Costa's life, it speaks very much of a godliness, the essence of God working, and excellence in conduct. I'm going to hand over to Benny, who's going to talk about where it all started.
Hey guys, I'm Benny. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you where the story started. So I was 9, turning 10, and I went to this complex in Belladonna, where when I got there, I saw these guys racing outside, and I saw this one white short guy, and he was beating everyone, and then I was like, yo, I can beat him. And then I went outside, and then I was like, yo, can I please race? They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you can race Costa. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then we raced, and then I beat him. And then from there, I remember we were walking back after the race, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. But rather than feeling upset that I beat him, there was almost like this positive energy within that time period, walking back to the starting point. So then from there, months go by. I was in a different school at the time. And then my mom took me out of that school, and then she put me in Nelspruit Primary. So now when I get to Nelspruit Primary, I'm walking by the tuck shop, and I see him. And we look at each other, because it was just months back when I saw him at that complex. And then from there, you know, like we just greet each other. We're like, yo, yo. And then from there, time goes, time goes, time goes. And then now it leads to our first, okay, well, I had started performing in grade 2, but then this leads to now Costa's first time performing on stage. So there was this thing that happens in Nelspruit Primary where there's like a market thing where they sell sweets, you sell whatever, it's sort of like an EMS.
Yeah, grade 6 market
Yeah,
day.
grade 6 market day. So then from there, it started raining that day, and then they said, like the intercom said, okay, due to the rain and the weather, there's going to be a talent show that happens. And then we were like, oh snap, okay. And at the time, me and a guy called Melvin had formed something called BM. But then, yeah, okay, I'll explain this just now. BM. And then I remember Costa sitting in Mr. Greef's class, and then he looked at us rehearsing. He looked at us rehearsing, and then he gave me the same look he gave me the first time I met him at the complex. And then he stood up. He stood up, and then he walked towards me and said, I think I can dance. And then I was like, are you sure? And then he's like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, let me play this song, do something. And then, okay, I played the song, and then, you know, I saw him like, you know, loosening up, like about to like, you know, he was about to do something crazy. And then he did, so he started off, I'm like, okay, he's got rhythm, and then he did a cap trick. He did this cap trick, and then I looked at Malvin, I was like, yeah. You know, and then from there, it was now BMC. And then the three of us walked down the corridor, we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna do this, you know, we're gonna perform. You know, we're gonna dance on stage. And I was like, yeah, no, I've been doing this. You know, I started in grade 2. You know, so just trust me, you know. And then we get there, we perform to Young Jock, It's Going Down. And then from there, we just stuck together. BMC ended up breaking up. The next crew was Chaos, but then BC was still like a thing now, you know. And then Chaos took us in. Auntie Laura and my mom were always stressed because Costa and I were like 12 years old, and the rest of the guys in the group were like matriculants, and they were smoking, they were bringing girls around us and stuff like that. And like Auntie Laura was always like, you two need to be safe, you know. Yeah, and then, you know, it went from Chaos, and then it went to Breeze Block, but then Costa and I, like within each stage, we just kept together going into the new space, and then it went from Breeze Block, and then from Breeze Block, we were like, yo, bro, we need to get the strongest dancers in MP to be able to represent us outside, because we're like, damn, dude, we're only doing these competitions here, you know, a competition at Manor, a competition. We came to Joburg as a duo, and I remember Wesley, Costa's older brother, he drove us there like early in the morning, and we performed there, we came back, and then we're like, bro, we need to expand. We've now tasted Joburg, we need more. And then we formed a group called Fresh Impact.
All right. I'm going to track it back a little bit where I come in. So I knew of Costa. I moved to Nelspruit in 2005, and I knew of Costa when I got to Nelspruit Primary, you know. I would always just hear his name in assembly. Best cricket player, Costa Titch. Best rugby player, top. And we all sitting there and just like, who's this kid? And we couldn't really place his surname, so everyone just assumed that he's a black kid. You know, it's like, and then and called him, at some point it was called Tso, sometimes called Tino. So Tino's is not new. Tino's was, he didn't like Tino's in primary. He did not like that name at all. Tso held, and then at some point after his dad passed, who's the original Titch, Andrew Tsobanoglu, he took on the name of Titch. Anyway, in that time when I knew of Costa, same market day talent show, that's when I started dancing or started doing the hip hop thing. And I saw these guys and they were amazing, and it's just like, hey, okay, sharp, okay, we'll never be that good, you know. And then I truly started to getting to know Costa at rugby. I started playing rugby in 2007. I was in the first team, and he was our scrum half, the smallest scrum half you could ever see. I remember we played a game against Numbi, and we were 13, he was 12, I was 12, 13-year-olds, and I think we played against 15-year-olds. I'll never forget, he was pulling the ball out of the rack. He was down. And our coach apologized to all of us because we played against 15-year-olds. I know I started nose bleeding, and a lot happened in that game. But that's when I met Costa. We'd go to rugby games together, and I knew that he danced, and I met Benny. My first encounter of Benny, we were practicing for LO, and he came to the grade 7 block, and he's like, yo, I hear you dance. I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you do a flow? I'm like, I can on the one side. He's like, he left. And I just knew of them from the talent show, from them just always performing, Benny and Costa, chaos, Benny and Costa, chaos. Fast forward to me having a crew, and we were rivals at that time when they were Breeze Block. I was in Bac DC, and we were competing. Man, all the competitions that Benny mentioned, we competed all of them, and then they had their conversation. I was in grade 11. I was going to grade 11, 2011, and I was losing members. They were losing members because we had all the guys going to matric. We performed at a gig, I think Wes actually organized at a college, and I spoke to Costa. I was like, hey, bro, we should merge, you know? We should merge, have my guys, have your guys come together. Costa was just like, yeah, just come over to my place and let's session, we'll see. Lo and behold, I found out that Costa lives up the road from me. We knew each other from school, didn't know where he lived. He went to Penryn, I went to Baflam, and I found out that he lives across, not across, but just up the road from me, and we sessioned for a couple of hours, made a routine, and it happened that day. He's like, come back tomorrow. I went the next day, the next week, and started meeting Benny properly outside of that moment, and then that was the birth of Fresh Impact 2.0, because Fresh Impact was existing at the time. And then they restructured, and then they got myself, Andile, and then some members came in a bit later. Garabo Mtunzi, Kensani was still there at the time. We went on to achieve many things which many people aspire to do, and some never achieve it. You know, the materialistic things that supposedly fulfill one's life from an outside perspective. You know, things like TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, meeting celebrities, all that stuff. We achieved all of it at those young ages. We were 14, 15, and 16, with me being the oldest at 16. And what that did for us was make us realize that the field is open. We reached stuff at that age, the things that we thought were the pinnacle. And we're like, oh, okay, we're here now. What now? You know, you can dream and you can achieve it and dream more and achieve more. We had gone through the first barrier of things, which usually seems to be the highest.
So, moving forward with Fresh Impact, we really did everything. I'm just going to take you through some highlights that I know Costa would have said, boys, and you must tell them. So, you know, we went to Las Vegas when we were in grade 9 to go represent the country because we had placed third at HHI, Hip Hop International. So we went to Las Vegas. I remember I was passed out in Red Rock Hotel's bathroom. Costa was out, some ladies, you know. And then, one of our boys bought a PlayStation, and he was playing PlayStation in the room, and we were all upset. Like, dude, we came all the way from Nelspruit to Las Vegas for you to play PlayStation in the room, And then, yeah, so from there, we placed 14th in the world that year. And then that's still the highest varsity record in South Africa right now. So we did that, what year was it?
2011.
Yeah, 2011, and it's now 2023, and it's still there. Yeah, and then from there, we started doing gigs. And in between the gigs, would now and then come with our homework and do our homework, go perform, come back, you know. And, you know, we always spoke about how funny it was, how during those time periods of being a dancer, we came up to Joburg and we were performing at Rudine Girls High. And we were signing autographs. We were signing autographs and we're like, yo, dude, yo, Dance does this? Dance does this? And, you know, like, these girls like, yo, sign, you know, like, they were really, you know, and we like in grade 9, grade 10, you know, so every time we'd come to Joburg, we'd go back with more information of what to do and what to add to the blueprint, you know, and yeah, so from there, all those experiences, you know, performing there, raising our funds, because we tried our best to get funds from Mpumalanga. And I remember we were constantly trying to get assistance from a city we so loved, and you know, but we just kept moving. We just kept moving, and yeah, you know, those hardships in between and the learning curves prepared us for the next step, you know.
Yeah, in the times that Benny mentioned of trying to raise funds, we did have a small group of help from family, from Michelle's family. We used to sell, I can't remember who came up with the idea, but we had a manager. Imagine that, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, manager. We had a manager, Queenie. Somehow there was a project called the Piggy Project where we would sell piggy banks. Hey, we worked hard, man. We worked very, very hard for that. And when we had to come to Joburg and we didn't have money, we'd break a pig, count 5 rands, 2 rands, and would make it, would come, all of that adding to the blueprint. There's something that Phantom mentioned when they argued, and very true to Costa. Same with us, we went to Vegas, and there's still a lot of, you know, tension in the team. I fought a lot with Garawe, he owed me money. Dude, you must give me my money. And then Costa's like, sick of this. Tonight at dinner, we're talking about this. Sat at the table, and we discussed all of that. We spent a lot of time together, a lot. You know, we camped together to start new, like from 2011-12. He's like, let's go on a camp. We went to, where's this place, out on the farm, and we watched movies together. We accompanied each other to dates. I know. I discovered that I'm lactose intolerant while on a McFlurry run with this guy and Costa. It's another story for another day. Costa drove me to my metric farewell, and he took my photos. Never got those photos. And a bond built that it wasn't a type of relationship that could be simply thrown away by distance. I went on to varsity, but every time I'd come back, hey bro, I made a routine. He's like, I made a routine. Would shoot it, put it online. That's what they were seeing, you know. He became someone very, very close to me because as a person, I am an anomaly in most spaces, and even in Fresh Impact initially, you know, but Costa made it very safe for me. He was very approachable, you know. I remember when we were at HHI and when we came here to the qualifiers, and we'd go to the bathroom and these guys would just leave, and I'd be in the bathroom alone, and then I told him, I was like, dude, I don't like that we leave each other behind. And he was like, okay. And then he just started waiting for me. Every single time. And then the rest of the gents started following, you know. And as it has been said already, many of you will agree that Costa was a leader innately with the greatest of grace. He wasn't the only leader in Fresh Impact. That made us, you know, would come there, they're like, Costa's crew, damn it, okay, just let them know it's Fresh Impact, it's not Costa's crew. I remember when we met Phantom at Masters of Rhythm, we were at the back, the live TV show, and then he's like, who are you guys? We're like, we're Fresh Impact. Where's Costa? Pain. That was very painful. But he was part of us, and he was part of the leadership in different spaces, you know. And he led his life exceptionally well. And I want to say thank you to Auntie Laura and Auntie Laura, for those who don't know, is his mother, Auntie Laura and his family for allowing Costa to dream and for giving him the space to pursue his dreams ever so vigorously. Ultimately, you made space for all of us, for myself, Kensani, Karabo, Beni, Andile, Tunzi, and everyone else thereafter. So thank you for that. I can wholeheartedly say, had my road not crossed with Costa Tsobanaglu and Fresh Impact, Beni, Tunzi, Andile, Karabo, Kensani, and Fresh Impact 2, 1.0, William, Mahlatsi, all those guys, my life definitely would not have turned out the way it did.
Okay, cool. So then now we go into Costa's life from matric going out. So, he then joined Freeze Frame, and you know, it continued. At the time I was still in matric, so we'd communicate just via phone. When he'd come down to visit, I'd see him and he'd tell me that, yo, dude, Joburg, bro, the gig, the money, bro, you know, and that type of stuff. And then Freeze Frame did well, you know, they just kept, they were running Joburg, you know. And then from there, I matriculated, and then the next year in February, I remember this was a very important moment with regards to the next step, which was like outside of school. So I went to New York through a dance competition I'd won. And then while I was that side, I had a workshop with Cortez Bryant, and I met like a lot of people. Cortez Bryant is Lil Wayne's manager. So then when we got back this side, I remember rushing to Costa Dance Web Studios, and I was like, bro, we can do anything. And then, you know, like, he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, once you go out, dude, like, do you remember what happened in Vegas? Because we hadn't traveled in a while. So what ends up happening is you get out of touch with the frequency of moving at that speed. So when I came back, it was almost like a reminder of the fact that we can really do anything. So from there, you know, like, it continues. You know, now I'm also in the gig culture in dance. I've joined a crew called Creed because I felt Freeze Frame had too many superstars. You know, I really felt like there had too many superstars. So I was like, I need to do my own thing here, you know. And then, you know, we continued to just like, you know, talk in between. The friendship was still there. And then eventually, we had a similar conversation like the one we had in MP, but now in Joburg. We're like, bro, we need to take the best of the best and form something that can do more. And then we were like, okay, cool, yeah, what? You know, like, it was the guys, you know, some of the guys from Machita. And we were like, New Age Steez. And then from there, you know, New Age Steez, we became known for just like being at almost every gig. You know, we were at every show. We were backup dancing for Casper in Your Vest, Ricky Rick, AKA The Bunch, WizKid. Like, we were just everywhere, doing the Costa Light tours and all of that. And then from there, Costa was like, yo, bro, I really want to take this music thing serious. And then him and Phantom and Doomy, you know, they were dropping from time to time. And then it went into 2017. And then I was like, yo, I want to make music, bro. Yeah, I've decided. Because, and then I reminded him that, like, yo, Tezington told me that I was going to become an artist. And then he's like, oh, shit, dude, it's time. And then, you know, we were doing a gig for, I think, Edgar, so I don't know what brand it was, you know. And then I remember we stood outside the balcony, and he was like, Benny, I want to quit. And from 11 to, at the time, I think we were 22 or 23, I'd never heard him say something along those lines. And I was like, no ways, dude. I was like, no ways. And then he's like, what do you mean, bro? You dog, this music stuff is tough, dude. I drop a single, nothing's happening. I drop a single, nothing's happening. I'm like, bro, have you dropped a project? And then he's like, okay. Okay, I haven't done that. I'm like, yeah, bro, like, have you dropped music videos? Because at the time he had no music video out. And then, long story short, time went, he dropped that EP, but before the EP, he dropped a song called Activate, and it took off. It took off. King Vader in the States, Snare connected the King Vader from the States, and then the song just took off and it went, and then from there, he just continued to climb the ladder in the music space. And during that time period, one thing that was very prominent and with the way we would do things is that whenever we were doing something else, he would fully immerse himself within that thing. You know, when that switch was happening, how Snare was saying that he wasn't taking gigs even though he had no money was because mentally he just knew that like we had to keep going, and from there he just kept climbing the ladder, and I then like also started like with the music, and the music was also progressing from my side, and then you know, we just kept hustling, you know. And that one moment I really remember was when we were staying in Banbury Garden in 2018, and there was this day we were broke AF. We were broke AF. It wasn't one day. We were broke. Like we were broke for we were broke, like, you know. And then, but that day was like the brokest. So we were like, yo, dude, do you have 5 rand, bro? Like, nah, I got 3 rand. Nah, but boys, okay, nah, I saw 2 rand over here. And like, we literally gathered stuff to go get chips and bread. And I remember like during that time, like I would still do like a few little gigs there and there, so I had money. And whenever we'd get money, there were 2 things we'd do. We'd go to the movies together or go to Rockamama's. And like, that was like the highest level. That was the highest level during that period, Rockamama's or stay Kinoko to go watch a movie. And yeah, you know, but during those times, everything was designing us to go into the next step, ready for the next step, you know. And I just want to see if there's any, oh, yes. So then he continues to move, and then now he falls into depression in 2018, during that period of us like being the brokest. And then, you know, he started like gaining a bit of weight. And those that know, like Costa was like buff with like a 6-pack and like a V-line, you know. So during that period, things went a bit like dark. But then I'd always tell him that, yo, dude, we know how to win. You know, we know how to do this. And then his stepfather passed away. And I remember we were in his room. And then he was like, yo, yeah, I need to go. You know, like the arrangements got made, and then he went down to MP. And then when he came back, my friend had entered a new zone. Like it was, I could see it in his eyes. There was a switch that happened where, like, no human being, no one could stop anything. There was a switch in his eyes when he came back from the dam. And he told me that, yo, bro, I had to go get water for the family. And he was like, while he was working on the machine, he was like, if I'm not here, no one is going to take care of everything. So, because I asked him, like, yo, dude, what happened in like that side that caused like a switch? So then he came back, and that year he just kept dropping projects. He dropped like an EP, a month would go by, he wouldn't even push it that much. He dropped another one, he dropped another EP, he was just moving ferociously. And then, you know, he started like, because all that effort, if the results aren't showing, it starts to hit you. But then towards the end of the year, I remember we were trying everything. You know, I remember that year, we were like, yo, dude, for our music to really connect or hit or go to the next zone, let's not have sex. let's be celibate. Let's be celibate. Let's eat better. Let's, because we thought if the temple was good and clean and well taken care of, that energy would flow into the music. And then about a few and then from there, we're like, we're not talking to none of these girls. We're not talking to none of these girls. We focused. And then that's when Ngalagata dropped. And then from my side, Adapt to Die dropped, because Adapt to Die dropped before. And I remember we were both sitting, because it was months apart. And we were like, dude, AKA just followed me. He followed you too. And we were just so excited. We're like, yo, dude, Ricky just followed, dude. And then, that whole thing started happening. We were like, oh, snap. So now we know more information on how to win. You need to take care of your mind and your body at a certain level to go to a certain level. And then now all these pieces were just things that were getting added to the journey, added to the mind. And then from there, things start to progress, and like I said, Costa had built this resilience to just go through, like whatever anyone was saying, whether it was people close to him who didn't believe in him, whether it was people on Twitter saying whatever, nothing could penetrate the armor when he came back from the dam. Like he got into a completely different zone. And, progress was still the main theme throughout all of this, since when we were 11, all the way through to this period. And Costa came out of depression, things were moving. And then, our relationship got became more intentional about wellness, mental health, because we knew that, like, the field we're in, guys are losing their lives, guys are ending their lives, and we knew that the friendship had to evolve to a point where we're now therapists to each other, we're now advisors to each other, counselors, whatever the names of that department is. And then I now got into a depression. Now it switched, and that's when he would tell me that, bro, don't forget, bro, we can do anything. And then I'd be like, nah, bro, I don't know, man. What if the gas is finished? What if our dreaming juice or it's finished? And he'd like, no, dude, this thing goes on forever, bro. This thing goes on forever. And then, that's when he started reminding me of certain things we used to do. He started reminding me about meditation. He started reminding me, Benny, you used to be so close to God. Are you still connected to him like you used to? And it just kept going. And then, we started gaining success locally, but then the money still wasn't matching up to the success, And so it was still, okay, I'm positive, but then we still need to go harder. And during that time, he pulled me out of depression. And, he then, from that period, big flexor drops. But then I skipped a couple steps because there's way too many steps in between. So then he dropped Arieng, there's a lot of songs. And then, but this moment where he now goes global. And then now he goes global. Every time he goes out, he'd come back. And then when he comes back, he'd be like, bro, we can do anything. And then I was like, yeah. He's like, no, dude, you used to say that, bro. Trust me, dog. Dog, I didn't know Big Flexo was going to do this. I didn't know this was going to happen like this. I didn't know that was going to happen like that. And then from there, we got into 2023, where the movement was SD, self-development. The guys know what we were focused on this year, and it was self-development on the highest level. I was going through the WhatsApp conversation of Costa and I saw this this moment where we were talking, because in the car on the way to the gym, I told Costa, I'm like, bro, don't you think like our faces like would hit differently if the areas that are white by our eyes got whiter? And then he was like, yeah. He's like, and then now we're like, because the smile is important and your eyes are important. I'm like, yeah, dude, bro, I'm telling you, like, anyone that sees you will be like, yo, there's something about you, but they don't know that it's the white, you know? and then, you know, he was like, okay, cool. So then now I'm laying in bed, and I thought he forgot about that concept, and he sends me a list of things to do on how to whiten on how to whiten this area, you know, of your eyes, just so that your eyes can hit differently when you look at someone, or even when you're performing and you look at someone, it just hits differently. So from there, we just continued with SD. Me, Jerome, Costa going to the gym every day. Shampuru was also part of doing the SD thing. Nelsino, everyone was just very progressive, doing something, operating something. And he was extremely healthy. There were moments where we do 2 sessions, come back, studio. We set up a schedule that went from 6 a.m. all the way to midnight, and in each hour, there was nothing wasted. We didn't want to waste time, you know? We didn't. I think we had a 2-hour interval. That's when we'd sit and watch The Perfect Match on Netflix, or we'd watch Are You the One, and then we'd start talking about like, hey man, love is actually, and then no, let's go back to studio. You know? Yeah. So yeah, and one thing I'm really happy about is that towards the last couple weeks, he was extremely happy. And the last time I'd seen that level of happiness from Costa was moments in high school and moments in primary school when we'd be dancing in the garage, and Auntie Laura and like everyone in the house, like the brothers would like, okay, come on, it's too loud now. It's too loud. But we had so much joy during those periods that I'd seen now from Costa in the past couple weeks. He would wake up, he started this thing, and I was like, dude, why are you doing this? He'd wake up and he'd wear everything. So he'd wake up, would go to the gym, come back, and then he'd wear his Louis kicks. He'd wear a designer pant, and then he'd wear the chain that he got from Akon. And then he'd wear his rings. And then I'd find him sitting outside by the pool, smoking his vape and just looking at the birds. And then, you know, I would go outside, I'm like, yo, bro, okay, what's this? What's this now? Like what level is this? Like, what's going on now, you know? And then he'd like, and he'd look at me and like, bro, I gotta feel good. And then we'd sit down and just talk about ideas. We'd just talk about ideas, idea, a little bit of talking about women, go back to ideas. That was the main thing. Anything that was progressive was the main topic of conversation, you know. He wanted to lose weight, and I Googled something, because he wanted to lose weight naturally, and I just went on Google, searching, and I found this tea that Cristiano Ronaldo uses, and Messi. So I'm like, this must be the thing. This must be the thing. And then from there, I'm like, bro, and to anyone else that like goes out here and like, you know, tries this, he was like, dude, what's it called? I'm like, yerba mate. And then he's like, what? I'm like, yerba mate. And then he's like, show me this thing. I show him the pictures. I'm like, Cristiano's used this, bro. We need to go to the next level. Cristiano's used this. Cristiano's used this. Messi uses this. A few of the other soccer players use it. So I was like, bro, right now, we need to take this artist thing and become like athletes. LeBron James shit. You know, we need to become, you know, so then from there, we just continued with SD. We continued with SD. And then, yeah, you know, he was really happy. And he continued to wear his Louis every day for the past 2 weeks. Gucci, everything was worn after gym, whether he was going out the house or if he was just chilling the whole day, you know. And then the one time load shedding hit us last week, and I was playing Thames's NPR, and he lit all the candles in the house. He lit all the candles in the house, and then he sat down, and he just started like smoking his vape. And then I was like, okay, dude, what's going on here? And then he's like, nah, dude, the music you're playing fits this mood. And then I'm like, okay, okay, I feel that. And then he's like, yeah, bro, like, do you think we should like move that over there? Or like put this over here? And then I'm like, take both of them and put them over there. You know? And then, yeah, you know, he was really in a very genuinely happy zone, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that Benny mentioned, there's a theme towards it. As when I started, I spoke about character. His character stayed consistent throughout, you know. Yeah, it is with an extremely sad heart that I stand here, but there's a piece that sits in me that when I look at Costa's life, I see that he lived. Everyone has said this, and it's a constant, you know. He lived, he achieved his goals and dreams, and he continued to dream and make goals. Anything left behind is simply just more. Already from what was achieved at 14, 15, everything that's happening now is just rolling over and over and over and over. We are almost done. Yeah. And I'm very happy to know Benny sharing these stories with me. Didn't see him in the last few months, but sharing with me that he was happy really sits well in me, you know. I just want to share scripture, preach little. Isaiah 40, verse 6 to 8 says, all flesh is grass, and all its loveliness is like the flower of the field. The grass withers and the flower fades, because the breath of the Lord blows upon it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God stands forever. Amen. To hold death as a thief is giving it too much power. Death is simply the other half of life, and God's breath is above all of that. It is the essence of our entirety. Thus, it is life, but it can also take it away as well. However, if you look naturally, in every space of death, there's life right next to it. I personally don't live on the notion that he was stolen from us, but rather his owner took what was rightfully his. Perhaps the borrowed time that I mentioned earlier is simply to each other, but not to life itself. To Costa, I just want to share the meaning of the name Constantinos. It means constant, loyal, steady. I am a firm believer in living out your name and honoring your name, for that is the first prophecy that you are given over your life. And very easily, very clearly, you look at this gentleman here, he lived his name out easily. From the get-go, he honored his parents, he honored himself, he honored his name, and then he honored all of us here. Many people, many tabloids, they say, oh, he was just making his name. His name was made. His name was made. This is why we're all here. That's why everyone is watching. His name was made a very long time ago, you know, from school, so many things. I'm not going to deviate. To Costa, my bro, I love you. I really do. And as I said the last time, thank you for always holding space for me. Just last year, from when we were 17, 16 years old, just until last year, you always made space for me. And I'm honored to have lived this life with you. Thank you for building the Fresh Impact blueprint with all of us. Thank you for having an unmatched work ethic. We dreamt together, we woke up, and we worked together. You changed my life. See you in due time.
Okay, so in closing, I just felt like I could tell you guys about the days before he transcended. Because I know, like, this has to be shared, you know? And so the day before, regular programming, we woke up, meditation, whoever's meditating meditates, who doesn't, affirmations, whatever. From there, you go to gym. We come back from gym, yerba mate, and then it's breakfast, and then it's chill outside by the pool and discuss ideas. And then from there, we went to go buy groceries, and we bought a rugby ball. And then now, when we came back to the house, Jerome takes the rugby ball, and he starts tossing it around. You know, it started off light. We're all dressed in full clothing. And he tosses it. Next thing I know, our tops are off. We're running. We're playing touch rugby. We're playing touch rugby. You know, we're like, yeah, dude, because, you know, in the rugby team in high school, Costa was the scrum off and I was the wing. So now we're like, yeah, dude, okay, X-pass. Bobby. You know, we're doing everything that we used to do in high school. And then, you know, we finished up. We're like, yo, dude, that's extra cardio. You know, that was extra cardio. And then he's like, yeah, bro, he was like, I'm attending a funeral tomorrow because his aunt had passed. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, but tonight I want to do something. I want to go out. And then I was like, okay, cool. So what are the options? We just started talking about everything. You know, we're like, yo, okay, cool. We'll go to this spot. So then in the evening, we got ready. You know, cologne, you know, Burberry, Louis, whatever. We just dripped out. And then we went to the place. It was me, Jerome, Tabo, and Costa. And then we were all sitting there eating pizza, wings, whatever. And we're like, yo, let's make a toast. And it was so funny because on the video, the toast is just water because we weren't drinking. So then we're like, yeah, let's make a toast. And we made a toast. And then we went upstairs to go have more fun. We started dancing. And initially he wanted to go home a bit earlier, you know, just to be safe, you know, because it gets rowdy outside. And then I was like, no, dude, let's go dance. And then we just went up and we had a great time. And while we were there, he got approached by a lady from Tanzania, another lady from Uganda, and they were like, they came and they're like, yo, I love your music, I love your music. And the one lady told him something that brought so much joy to Costa's heart. She said, my mom passed away of cancer last year, and your music helped me get through that. And then we were like, okay, cool, gents. Yeah, let's go home. And then we went home, and then he made his last song. We went straight back into the studio, and he just went on YouTube, and then I'm like, yo, bro, we just started going back to music we'd listen to, like, yo, jerk beats, or this or that, or this or that, and then he found a beat. And then he just started going, and I was just sitting there, like, you know, okay, cool, adding flow. Oh, that's dope. Ooh, yeah, do it like that, yeah. That type of thing. And then from there, he's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's like, yeah, I love you too. And then he went to his room, I went to my room. The next morning, he went to the funeral. And then I went about the day, and I was in the studio when he came back. and he opened the sliding door and he was like, yo, dude, it felt so good seeing the family. And then I was like, yeah, dude, that's dope, that's dope. And he's like, yeah, you know, like I saw everyone, man, I saw everyone, it was good. But yeah, bro, I need to get ready for the show. And then I said, okay, cool. I put the headphones back in. And then my mom calls me, and then she asked me, she's like, where are you? And then I'm like, I'm in studio. And then she's like, your father's passed away. And then like I just went quiet, and then, you know, that conversation happened. I didn't want to talk to all the guys in the house, so I went to Costa's room, and then he's like, yo, what's up? And then I just told him what happened, and we hugged the longest hug we'd ever hugged ever. Like, the longest. And what was crazy about the situation, I was topless and he was topless, and our skin was like, like, you know, yeah, like our skin was like, even getting sweaty, like, and then we came out of the hug, we just looked at each other in silence, we sat down on his bed, and then he told me that, yo, bro, we'll talk when I come back. And then I was like, okay, cool, please tell the James what's happening. I don't wanna relay the message to each person. And then he was like, okay. And then I went straight to my room. I had my moment. He got ready. He came to my room with a bottle of water. He knocked. I opened. He gave me the water. And then he said, yo, we'll talk when I come back. And then, and then from there, he went to the show, and then I heard Nelsino scream, and, you know, we found out. I stayed in my room. Nelson was trying to get me out my room, and during that period, I felt something in me saying, nah, there's no ways. There's no ways. And then I stood up, I locked the room, like I wiped my tears. I'm like, yo, dude, let's go to that place. I know he's there, you know? And yeah, you know, that was the day before and the day of. But I feel like the most important thing is to just know and remember the days throughout. The consistency of positive energy, the consistency of selflessness, the consistency of love, and a high level of wanting the best out of people, you know? And yeah, he was really happy. Even when he went out, he was in his Louis. He was in his Louis, he had his favorite shades on, he had his chains on, you know? And to anyone that, you know, throughout this process of Costa designing this beautiful life, anyone that was like saying, no, you're not gonna do this, anyone that said, yo, oh, look at you, oh, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? Yeah, it happened, he did it. He did it, he did every piece of everything that he said he was gonna do at the highest level. Yes. So let's remember that more than anything else, that he did it. Thank you.
Costa really enjoyed his music, but as I said earlier, very particular about it. There was one song in particular that he thoroughly enjoyed. We have Tejo in the building, and we have a musical Tejo, can you come forward? And let's make this a special moment.
Lord, I thank you for another day. New blessings, new lessons, new challenges. Sometimes I look up and I wonder what the message is. I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray. Lord, I thank you for another day. New blessings, new lessons, new challenges. Sometimes I look up and I wonder what the message is. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Ololo, oyoyo, ololo, oyoyo, ololo, oyoyo. I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray. Lord, I thank you for another day. New blessings, new lessons, new challenges. Sometimes I look up and I wonder what the message is. I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray. Lord, I thank you for another day. New blessings, new lessons, new challenges. Sometimes I look up and I wonder what the message is. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Ololo, oyoyo, ololo, oyoyo, ololo, oyoyo, I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray. Lord, I thank you for another day. New blessings, new lessons, new challenges. Sometimes I look up and I wonder what the message is. I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray. Lord, I thank you for another day. New blessings, new lessons, new challenges. Sometimes I look up and I wonder what the message is. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Umthandazo, yasebenza. Ololo, oyoyo, ololo, oyoyo, ololo, oyoyo, ololo,
Ladies and gents, we're just having a small technical issue. Nothing to be alarmed about. It'll take about 5 minutes. If I can just ask Wes and Philippe, Costa's brothers, to come forward for the Titch gang acknowledgement.
Thank God I'm alive. Whoa, God is on my side. Whoa, thank God I'm alive. Whoa, God is on my side.
I thank God that the abs broke, 10,005 for the gun smoke. Jeff Hardy got top rope, I said Hardy, tower rope. Godfather got broke, 25 times, I got ring toe. Yo, switch sky teamer, Saturday more one schema. 5 birds cost 5 legs, come on, Ben Lane, Lily Sira. Another plug in, drag a straight rap contest, way winner. Swile moto, wagatang, no try to zaga, no overtime, nigga, try to zaga. Get no ball, go put next year, January. Tom Holgas, Kali kill, like it to be guap, and blazer. First suspect, Kaiser, nigga, try to zaga, Laisha. Get to hero, Petro deep, 25 case, check bonga. Hate like a guy, ignore, and no post deal out longer.
Trouble leader, trouble leader, pay the hands around. Trouble leader, trouble leader, pay the hands around. Whoa, thank God I'm alive. Whoa, God is on my side. Whoa, thank God I'm alive. Whoa, God is on my side. I'ma break a bag today, shopping spree with babe. Hands on money every day, don't care what they say. Double leader, I might call a Nina, Shay Stina, it's payday, get the trucker, 25.
We weren't allowed to know them.
Yeah. But there's one story that comes to mind or memory. When he was little, when we were in Nelspruit. And we always wanted to watch our shows. It was exactly the same time that Jam Ali used to be on. And he would not allow us to watch anything else. Even though he couldn't dance back then, but he would just bounce up and down. Other than that, I've tried to look after him as best I can. Give him advice as best I can. He stayed with me for about 5 years. Same with the gents that I've looked after, Nelson, Jerome, Benny, Shampur. They've kept me young. And then he was excited for me to move to Cape Town. And he said he wanted to join me, but he can't. I just want to say thank you to everyone that did come, and I saw that he did what he did to you guys and the impact that he had on everyone around you. So that makes me super proud of my baby brother. So thank you.
Thanks, Wes. Today is a day that I think us as brothers never expected to happen. Looking around the room here and just knowing who Costa was, everybody had a little piece of him. We just want to go out and we want to thank each and every single person in this room, online, any fan, anyone from anywhere. You guys have shown great love, great support, everything along those lines. The guys in and out the house, pulling things together. You know what, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's loved and it's appreciated and it's taken in. It's been a rough ride, guys, and just want to say, like, we didn't expect it, but let us rest and let us love and let us carry on with peace. Thanks.
We have prepared video tribute as well. Big shout out to Sutra and her team. We're going to connect it now and show you guys on the screens there.
Africa, one of the hottest artists from the continent, a superstar that has transcended genres, cultures. Please welcome the incredible Costa Titch. Who is Costa Titch?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Costa Titch, and this is my story. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I grew up in Nelspruit, in Mpumalanga. I originally started as a dancer. I remember back when I was younger, I'd be like in the lounge watching music videos of Chris Brown. I just remember the scene of him being on like this table. I just copy the dance moves, and you know, before I knew it, I had fallen in love with dancing, and in particular it was hip-hop dancing, you know. So we would dance at dance competitions in Nelspruit. It would be my boy Benny Chill and I. We went to a hip-hop international dance competition in Las Vegas, and we represented the country. That's how I got into the crew Freeze Frame. You know, before I know it, I find out that, listen, as a dancer, like, you can get way more for a gig. So as soon as I found that out and I got my first booking in Johannesburg, I told my mom, yo, I'm out. You know, I'm moving to Johannesburg. It's my time. You need to earn. It's my time. Y'all gonna learn. Activate, swag, activate, sneaks, activate, ooh, activate, me. I done been in color, got that from the start. Out of here. Too straight, lava in a high cheeky. Let's go, arriva I can speed. It's over drive, I'm not a crisper. Physically beat, we shake it down. Upizo kama pela maga kuya lanta. Tangane senti, injanja. Charlie, wapinzani Charlie. Nangalagati, Costa. This style like Foka, yeah. Pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, I'm taller. What's going on, everyone? It's Costa Titch. Yeah, as you can see, we're on set. Right now we're on set for the Big Flex remix. Yeah, man, exciting day. We got Akon on the remix. So there's a lot of working elements to this video, and you know, to just see it all come together. Oh shit, baby! I get it! That's my brother! Look at the shoes! That's my brother!
Talk to us. Gotta double these dirty ass clothes. Go to the next show.
Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a true legend in the making, a pioneer of the new wave that's taking Amapiano music.
Costa, get style like Foka. Back again, baby. Big one.
Murder every feature, I did it like Dwayne Carter. Niggas trying to kill me, don't turn me into a martyr. If they get me, it's fine, just bury me in some Prada. Louis bag, Louis bag, Louis bag. But clearly they can't.
Thank you. Whoa, 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 put me on the side. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Shucho and your team. Tsejo. Come on, show